We are back working on the Ranger, doing what we do best, hacking stuff apart, melting metal, mounting up these big beautiful bypass shocks, and hopefully at the end of all this, we're able to go a little bit faster off-road than we could before. Welcome back to the Reckless Wrench Garage. On this episode, we are going to continue the saga that we started last week of getting more travel on the back end of the Ranger. We're going to throw on those trailing arms. We're going to put on some bypass shocks, build some sick shock mounts, at least in my opinion. They're pretty dang cool. Stick around. It's going to be a good time. To build the bypass and coilover mounts, I spent a lot of time looking at pictures of how other people paired the mounts together on the back of a truck. And I came up with an idea to build a box structure behind the cab and mount it to the tube work. The main structure is cut from 3/16 steel, and then I used 1/8 inch plate to box it in and make the overlays.
Before installing the bypass shocks, the rear coilovers need to have the valving removed. If I had left the normal valving in the coilovers, there would have been a ton of resistance and the truck would have performed horribly. Eventually, after tuning the bypass, it is an option to add valves back into the coilover to tune for different situations. I got some used Bilstein Bypass shocks from our friend Steve over at Fortify Off-Road. The bypasses are 3-inch 4-tube shocks. If you haven't noticed, I really like used parts because you can save a ton of money compared to buying them new. One thing I had to adjust with the addition of the trailing arms is the spring rates on the shocks. There's calculators online to try and help with this, but I messed up my initial spring rate calculation because I didn't factor in that the bypasses are going to add resistance and help support some of the weight of the truck. We had to change some springs around and drive it a little bit to get the truck to settle down to ride height.
So that was a ton of work to build those shock mounts and get the bypasses installed. You know, I did have to play around with my spring rates a little bit to try and get it sitting where I want it. And I'm still kind of tuning and adjusting that. In the future, we're gonna actually go out and finally do some suspension tuning on this thing and see what kind of performance we could get. I'm pretty dang excited about that. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to see some more projects coming up in the future. And until next time, stay reckless.